Bitwit's coverage of Computex 2019 is brought to you by Fantex, Cooler Master, Gigabyte, Enermax, Team Group, NZXT, and Corsair. To learn more about our sponsors, click on the links below.
Go, go, go!
How late are we? Pretty late? Like half an hour? Yeah, when she's not talking to you, that means you're really late. Are we lost? We just got here. When in doubt, never be too proud to ask for directions. G-Skill looking fly again this year, I see. But this video's not about you. Ooh, look at all the LN2, Chris. All the LN2. Cooler Master! Hey, we made it.
For Jamie.
Look for who?
Jamie.
Jamie. Jamie's our point of contact at Cooler Master. We need to find her before we can start shooting. Hey, there she is, hi! Cooler Master has finally begun their foray into wireless peripherals, at least for the gaming segment. This is their brand new MM831 gaming mouse. It's got a laser sensor, very high quality, Omron switches, millions of clicks are supported. You can go up to 32,000 DPI with this guy, which is more than enough for most people. We also have two options here. You can connect either via Bluetooth or wirelessly over a 2.4 gigahertz connection. Very nice. There's a pairing button right there. Very nice, comfortable shape. Feels very good in the hand. We have a PBT plastic housing, also very high quality. There's a cover. Cover pops out. It's kind of blinding, but this actually gives you housing for the little wireless dongle. I hate wireless mice that don't have this feature because it makes those dongles very easy to lose. You can also charge it with this little cable. Is this C? Oh, good job, Cooler Master. Type C. You can actually charge it while you use it, which is very nice. Also, wireless Qi charging. So if you have something like this, like their new wireless Qi charging stand, you can just leave it on there. Charges no problem. You can also use this guy for charging your phone, assuming that it's supported with Qi charging. We also have the SK851. These are wireless Bluetooth keyboards. Very nice, super sleek. You can actually see they're significantly sleeker and thinner than their existing low-profile keyboards. Also notice that the switches are different. These are using the Cherry MX low-profile switches, whereas these are Omron's brand new Japanese-sourced low-profile switches. They come in two varieties that you can choose from, linear and tactile. I personally like the tactile. These are tactile right here, and I actually like them better than these, the low-key. Haha, pun intended. You got multimedia function keys, 10-key number pad, also comes in your choice of black or white. Since these are prototypes, they're not powered right now, but eventually these are going to be fully equipped with per-key RGB lighting, of course. They do look very classy, very minimalistic. If you want to switch things up, however, Cooler Master is going to be releasing 3 sets of custom keycaps, at least initially, and they probably will have plans to roll out more options in the future, but they look really nice. This is kind of like, Cooler Master color themed right here. You can get fancy with it. Of course, you can swap them around if you wanted to paint them, whatever, brand them yourself. There's a bunch of possibilities here. Here we have the MH670, their first wireless headset. This is actually really nice, super comfortable. We've got memory foam, faux leather ear cups, unidirectional boom microphone. We also have a very sleek design here. There's no RGB on this one, which I actually like. It also increases battery life. You get, I think, 22 hours of continuous battery life usage, which is pretty darn good. We also have a 2.4 gigahertz wireless connection, very similar to the MM831. These also feature virtual 7.1 surround sound, if you're into that sort of thing. I tried them on. They're extremely comfortable, very cushiony, and relatively lightweight, so you can wear them for hours on end, hopefully, without too much discomfort. I also really like the fact that you can plug them in analog if your battery dies, or if you just want lossless audio. It's very nice. This is the MM710. This is not a wireless mouse, but I'm going to talk about it briefly anyway. It's extremely lightweight. I think it's under 51 or 52 grams. It's like 51 point something grams. It's incredibly light. I don't think I've ever held a mouse this light. You can see that they've actually cut out a lot of the plastic housing just to reduce the weight even further. It's very comfortable. It's a little bit on the smaller side, so if you have a large hand, it might not be for you, but definitely if you're a palm grip or a smaller rest grip user, you should be perfectly accommodated. Switches are very fast, very clicky, very tactile. Like the MM831, this also has a very high quality laser sensor at 32,000 DPI. TEP. TEP is a very weird sounding word, but it's actually an acronym for Cooler Master's new line of power supplies, thermal enhanced platform. Actually, I guess this is the line, XG. XG Gold Essential, Advanced, and Plus. Obviously, it scales up from left to right. But these are basically designed around the idea of very high efficiency, but low temperatures. They're going to be running cooler than your typical power supply units. They're doing this in a variety of ways. They actually have an internal look here, just to give you an example. For starters, they've redesigned the entire DC to DC circuit in-house. Everything's in-house. in-house here. We also have a redesigned transformer that's extremely high efficiency, and over here you can see we actually have machined soldering that they've integrated into the manufacturing process just to ensure no human error and utmost precision in the crafting of these beautiful units. You can see that this one's got RGB lighting. I think these are prototypes, so I don't know if this is final retail or anything, but digital readout there, so you can see at a glance your system diagnostics, how much power you're drawing from the wall and that sort of thing. There's also software options. They didn't really go over that with me too extensively, but there's a bunch of different options that you can do here. You can change the, it looks like you can have some fun with what you actually display on that LCD. This is a really interesting concept. This is still very much a prototype, so nothing's final here yet, but project fanless power supplies. For example, this is going to ship with this bracket that's included, and it's not going to have a fan from the get-go. Okay, so without a fan, it's going to be 650 watts, 80 plus platinum certified, full aluminum housing. It's actually a really nice kind of it looks like a giant heatsink, but very cool. However, if you were to add any fan, pretty much any fan that's at least 1500 RPM and 4-pin PWM, and 120 millimeters, this automatically becomes a 1000 watt supported power supply, still retaining its 80 plus platinum efficiency, which is a very cool concept that I have not seen before. So again, I hope they bring this to market so we can test it out and stuff, have some fun with it, but it's very cool that you can add your own fan and obviously expand the power significantly, almost twofold, by simply adding a fan. That additional cooling will be able to leverage that power very effectively. SL600M, I really love this case. This is the case that I used for Pimp My Rig, last episode of Pimp My Rig, but now it's in black. That's pretty much it. It's now black. It's very nice, anodized. It's anodized in black, kind of a matte finish. It's super sexy. I want one. It looks sinister. It looks like it's ready to break a GPU in half. I hope not, though. Save the GPUs. They've got a couple new AIOs here. This is the Master Liquid ML240P Mirage. These fans are pretty cool. I'm going to stop it right here. You can see that the blades are actually connected. That's supposed to help with additional airflow and potentially keep them quieter. Very nice sleeved hoses. If you kind of look at this impeller, you can see the impeller there. It's kind of got a Mirage effect, which is where it gets its name from. And RGB LED, of course, looks addressable to me. But never mind that. Look at this. Look at this. If you thought that was cool, this must be twice as cool, pun intended, because it has two of the exact same pumps integrated into one single housing. You can even see the tubing here. This is a prototype, so you might not be able to see the tubes, or they might actually make them clear, so they are more visible, and I don't know, maybe add some RGB there as well, I'm not sure. But pretty wicked, right? I guess the point of having two pumps here is it's going to increase the actual flow rate of your coolant, increase the pressure, and the rate at which it actually dissipates heat. So that's going to be effective for lowering your temperatures even further. Very nice addressable RGB fans there. This is a 240 millimeter radiator, it looks like, but they may have plans to do a 360. I hope they do. For something this extensive, would be kind of wasted on just 240. It'd be nice to have that additional option. We also have this guy, Master Liquid ML240P Vivid. Again, with those RGB fans that are just trying to give me a seizure right now. I love the LCD screen on here because it's the biggest one I have ever seen on any AIO. 2.44 inches, fully customizable, has a bunch of different metrics. We're all kind of familiar with that, but this is, I think, going to be the largest LCD on any AIO currently on the market. Master Liquid ML240M Mirage DIY. All right, this is going to be a DIY kit. It's going to get your foot into the door to custom water cooling if you're, I don't know, if you're a little intimidated by trying to find out which parts are all compatible. This is still pending. They're not sure if they're going to use this water block or change it. I think they should change it, make it more RGB and translucent, just so that it matches the other parts that they've already settled on, including the reservoir here, which has a really wicked looking tornado effect. I'm hoping that doesn't add or introduce air bubbles into your loop. It kind of looks like it is, though. Air bubbles. Yeah, that's gonna have to get tested for sure. But yeah, DIY kit, pretty cool. This might be one of the coolest things they have here, quite literally. Immersion cooling case. So it's using immersion cooling. This is 3M's special non-conductive coolant that they're actually filling this entire case with. This is actually great for small form factor because if you don't have the actual space needed to fit radiators and pumps and reservoirs, well, just fill it up with liquid directly and have it make direct contact with all the main components. It's actually pretty sweet. This is not how it's actually going to ship. It's going to have this cover on it. They just took it off for demo purposes so you can actually see the inside. This is the finished finish on it, though. It's going to be like silver and very industrial looking, very cool. You've got a 240 millimeter radiator with a couple fans up top as well. No price point on this, but we should be seeing this relatively soon, maybe in the next, I don't know, actually not, I take that back, maybe not soon. They didn't say, or maybe they did and I forgot. At any rate, I'm very excited to get one of these in the studio. Elevate, this is a RGB GPU bracket. They went there. Now Masterfan MF120M addressable RGB fans. Notice that the center hub is not spinning. Cool little effect there. We do have addressable RGB on the edges. I guess the point of this middle thing to not spin is just a more clean and, I don't know, it's just a cleaner look. It's got LEDs. And, you know, you can actually see the logo. If you're a huge fan of the Cooler Master logo, these are the fans for you. And then we also have their SF120M fans. These are my favorite fans that they have here. Oh, double ball bearing. Got double ball bearing fans, no RGB whatsoever. They're supposed to be just super industrial and blacked out. They also have the same design where all the blades are connected. Very nice brush metal finish here. Rubberized corners, so reduced noise and vibration there. There's also a switch somewhere here. It's kind of hard to see, but there's going to be a 3-step switch for various RPM speeds, so you can actually change it on the fly based on hardware. You can do it software as well, but sometimes it's kind of nice to have a physical switch on board. This little guy right here is the H100, okay? It's like a miniature H500M, in my opinion. It's got the full front mesh, it's very nice. Large 200mm RGB fan, and lots of mesh on the top too, so tons of airflow pumping through this thing. They're saying that this is really targeted for like the APU users, which I guess makes sense because you can only fit up to 160mm discrete GPUs. Not that that's going to stop me from cramming one in there with like a mini RTX 2070 or something like that. But these are pretty sweet. Only like 60, I think it was like 60 or 70 bucks or something like that. Fairly affordable, much lower than I was actually expecting. There's also a handle right here that you can actually carry very easily. Not that it's too heavy to begin with, even if it's fully kitted out. Also full-size ATX power supply support. It's actually pretty nice. Add some additional flexibility and hardware support, but you could probably get one of those SFX adapters in there as well if you wanted to put a smaller power supply for additional room, for cable management, and maybe a bit more breathability. All right, look at these tiny little coolers. G200P, G400P, all right? These are really nice, especially if you're doing a super small form factor build. 40mm, ultra low profile, small form factor optimized, 92mm RGB fan. Of course, got to go RGB. This is like it might be a competitor to the super low profile Noctua cooler, L9i, whatever it is. You guys know which one I'm talking about. Might be cool to do a cooler shootout on those two as well. G400P is a little bit taller, but of course you get a little bit more cooling because of it. I believe this is at 58mm. It's also got a 92mm RGB fan. Be sure to look out for these very soon. 3D VVC technology, so those are not heat pipes. You can see that big copper slab that goes like in 2 towers, like 2 planks. That's actually doing a lot of the thermal dissipation, a lot of the heat transfer, I should say, and it basically reduces the amount of resistance within the fin stack, within those fins. So you actually get much faster rate of heat dissipation from the fans blowing out, and overall it's going to reduce your temperatures a bit further overall. It also gives it a very clean look. You don't really see heat pipes. You see those like kind of black anodized slabs, which looks kind of cool. Thanks, Jamie. This was fun.
Bye.
We'll see you later. Bye. All right. Stay cool.
Always.
All right. The convention center for one booth, and now we're out of it again. We're crossing the street. Why are we leaving? Already? What the hell? Where are we going?